Good afternoon and welcome to SUTV Live, where we will be bringing you all of the build-up to today's 12:45 kickoff as Sheffield United play host to Bournemouth here at Bramall Lane. There's plenty to come in the next 45 minutes. We'll look back at Tuesday night's 1-0 victory over Queen's Park Rangers. We'll hear from Paul Heckingbottom and Oliver Norwood. The all-important team news is on the way as well. And in an SUTV Live exclusive, we'll hear from Philippi Ramovich about his first few weeks as a Blade and the part he can play between now and the end of the season in our promotion push. SUTV Live is free to view to all Sheffield United fans wherever you are in the world, and for all of the details relating to the broadcasting regulations for the match feed itself, go to sufc.co.uk. Well, a very warm welcome. Good afternoon inside our studio here in the heart of Bramall Lane. As you can see behind me, it's bathed in sunshine, perfect conditions for what is sure to be an intense, hard-fought, big game here at the Lane this afternoon. A lunchtime kickoff as well to throw into the mix. So without further ado, let me introduce you to our two guests who are joining us for the ride. First of all, ever present this season, Kevin Gage. Great to have you back in your usual chair after being consigned to the commentary box on Tuesday night.
Yes, it's good to be here this afternoon, as always. Really looking forward to this game. I think it's going to be an excellent game of football.
Yeah, absolutely. And we are not believers in squad rotation. If it's a winning formula, we keep it as it is. And that is why Mark Duffy is in the set for back-to-back games. Good afternoon, Mark.
Good afternoon.
Now, of course, it's Masters weekend as well. Big sporting weekend. Our own Matt Fitzpatrick is doing quite well after 2 rounds. He's level par at the Augusta National Course. But we wanted some expertise on golf and how you go around playing all 4 rounds. So who better to ask than Kevin Gage? Talk us through this that we've managed to dig up here, Gage.
You've sprung this on me, haven't you? I had I still have a good friend in Mark Rowe, who's on the European Tour. He's now a commentator for Sky. And I was invited to caddy for him as a friend back 20 years ago now. So I did 4 tournaments with him: Dubai Desert Classic and the Qatar Masters, and then went out to Madeira a couple of times and had a great time. And at one stage in my life, I was actually contemplating being a professional caddy and doing it properly as a career. But I came back home and did what I'm doing now.
Well, I was going to say, were you successful? Because 4 tournaments is great, but I don't recall Mark Rowe keeping you on the bag.
Well, to be honest, after the first round of the Qatar Masters, we were leading the tournament. So
there you go, claim to fame.
For a few hours, I had pound signs of 10% commission in my head.
And that presumably was all down to your guidance and advice on what clubs I should say.
Of course, yeah, absolutely, 100%. And the mathematics working out the yardages as well.
Yardages. What about you, Mark? Do you play a bit of golf?
Yeah, I play a bit of golf. Yeah, I played with a few of the lads as well, and played with Matt as well.
Yeah. How was that then?
That was good.
Did you push him close?
No, unfortunately not. No, it's just unbelievable to see him in action, really, and the power and the distance he can get. Yeah. So it's just unbelievable to see in real life.
Well, it goes without saying, everybody here at SUTV Live wishes Matt Fitzpatrick all the very best as he heads into the weekend at the Augusta National. And maybe, just maybe, he might be having an early start to check in on how his Blades are going to do this lunchtime. Without further ado, let's concentrate on the task at hand then. Bournemouth are in town, and just before we came on air, I caught up with Sheffield United's own Sander Berger. Sander, great to have you with us. Thanks for taking the time to join us on SUTV Live. Obviously, a big 3 points picked up against Queen's Park Rangers in midweek. We'll come back to that in a second. That's backed up now with another big game this lunchtime.
Yeah, massive win the other day, and we're bringing that confidence and that performance with us today. Every game is different, but we know that's the basics for how we want to play here at Bramall Lane, with our 12th man on the front foot, playing forward, running forward, and winning duels.
Yeah, it's very much the business end of the season now, isn't it, Sander? Is this the type of challenge that you relish?
Oh yeah, for sure. This is the games you want to play. We fought for a long season now, and we've come in a very good position. So we're confident going into it, and knowing Bournemouth is a very strong team, but this is the games you want to play, and yeah, this will be perfect, and we have to just come out in our best way.
You know, week in, week out here in the studio, we talk about the advantage that these fans here at Bramall Lane can give you guys on the field. As a player yourself, experiencing it game in, game out, what is it like to play in front of these fans?
Oh, it's huge. You know, they bring us forward, and especially if we give them something to cheer for, they will cheer even more. So we have to take them with us here on the early kickoff, and then they will give us everything back. So yeah, it's been massive for us, and the longer the game goes, they've been key.
And just finally, what about Bournemouth this lunchtime? Because you don't need me to tell you, if you can get a win, you're then asking the questions of all those around you, challenging for the promotion places as well. So how do you approach this one?
Oh yeah, just as every game else, this is a tough one. Bournemouth is a very strong team. They've shown that all season. But we're treating them with the same respect as everyone else. We have to go out and be confident in how we approach the game and think about how we can perform. And then the game will go by, and we'll see where that can bring us.
All right, Sander. Well, best of luck this lunchtime. Go well, and we thank you for taking the time to join us on SUTV.
Thank you.
Upbeat Sander Berger there, joining us on SUTV Live. Member, of course, of the team that got a valuable 1-0 win over Queen's Park Rangers in midweek. And we can take a look at the team news for this lunchtime's kickoff now. Unsurprisingly, perhaps unchanged for Bournemouth, Kevin. I know we've spoken quite a lot about the fixture congestion, and Paul Heckingbottom himself has mentioned he'd have to rotate his squad, but it was a big result on Tuesday night, wasn't it? Are you surprised that it's unchanged?
Not at all, no. It's the sensible thing to do, isn't it? We've had so many injuries, we've had to chop and change the team so round. It's actually nice to see the same starting 11. I mean, looking at the team now, we've got a great spine. That's the beauty of it. We've got Egan at the back, of course, leading things from there. We've got the three midfielders, I should say, with Norwood, Berger and Fleck. You know, they really drive us forward from midfield. And of course, we've got Gibbs-White. You know, in that number 10, I'm going to say the Duffy role, because he's here right now. He knows we call it that. But straight through the middle of the team there, we've got the basis of the team that should drive us forward. So, yeah, as I say, we don't need many changes. A similar performance to the other night would be fantastic this afternoon. Yeah,
absolutely. Well, Mark, you've been in this situation that many of these players find themselves in now. You'll have experienced squad rotation, as Chris Wilder, as it was then, tried to keep the starting 11 fresh. Does it help, though, to have the odd game where it is the same team that goes out for the start?
I prefer it, really, if I'm being honest, because you still have to get that momentum and the games are coming thick and fast. I understand sometimes the manager's decision to make changes, but you know, as players, you want to play every game, and it's crunch time of the season, and these are the big games that you've been wanting to be involved in all season. And you know, obviously, if anyone was left out of that team, I think they'd be disappointed, because it was a fantastic performance on Tuesday night.
Yeah, absolutely was. It was an invaluable 3 points. Let's take a look back to Tuesday night then and see how it all unfolded.
We're underway once again in the Sky Bet Championship, and Bramall Lane is in full voice. Norwood's delivery. Egan it was, attacking it round the back. First corner of the night. Flex corner. Left by Bulldog. This is Norwood! United take the lead. Ollie Norwood's first goal of the season. They're not going to take this one away from him. Perfect start for the Blade. Look at the space there for Stevens. He's gone for the cross instead. And McBurney's header is held by Westwood. Sander Berger. Still going Sander Berger. Oh, great block in the end by Barber. This is where he's dangerous. Chair with a cross. There is the half-time whistle. Second half is underway. It'll be interesting to see what kind of reaction United get from Queen's Park Rangers. Norwood. And goes the cross, looking for Egan, who stretches. Kept alive, is it? Here's Elias Chair. The danger man gets the shot away. An easy run from Sander Berger. Low cross, only half cleared. Stevens with the shot which was blocked. Now Gibbs-White tries to chip the keeper. Elias Chair into the wall. Egan did his job. And Robertson heads clear. Jefferson once more. Osborne to Gibbs-White. Stevens calling for it. Gibbs-White only has eyes for goal. Sets Gibbs-White through, and look at Osborne here making ground on the right-hand side. Still Gibbs-White. Gibbs-White! Oh! Maybe last chance here for QPR. Doan with the cross. Fotheringham comes, loses it, and it's stabbed wide.
So Oliver Norwood's goal, enough to decide on the night. The first time he'd scored in the league since Boxing Day 2019. Quite a barren spell for him, but understandably, he was delighted when he spoke to us after the game.
Ollie, a goal and a victory tonight. You must be delighted with your evening's work.
Yeah, definitely. Especially after the weekend, we were disappointed with the way we played in the result at Stoke. So, we spoke on Sunday about how important it's going to be to win at home and win the remaining home games. And it was important we picked up another win tonight, and I thought from 1 to 11 the lads were outstanding.
It's been a long time coming, hasn't it? A couple of years. How did it feel to finally get that goal?
Yeah, it's one we've worked a few times this year, and I've had a few blocked off that little cutback, but now Flecky's put it in the perfect area, and I just thought I hit the target. Went through a couple of bodies and thankfully hit the net, and it turns out to be the winner. So, yeah, as you say, it's been a long time and not scored many, so when I do, I enjoy it.
Has it been frustrating because as a technical player yourself, you've had opportunities and you must have been wondering when another one had come by?
Yeah, I blame the groundsman for that bobble against Swansea in the open net, but no, it's not. I don't get paid to put the ball in the back of the net, obviously, when I contribute as much as I can, but I try to set the other lads up and stuff like that. So obviously when you do score, it's obviously nice, but it's not always my job to do that. But as I say, it's nice to contribute, and if it turns out that it's got us 3 points, it's got us 3 points, and in this stage of the season it doesn't really matter who gets it as long as we're winning games and climbing the league.
And I suppose the key point of the goal was the fact that you guys work on a lot of the routines anyway. We always see something a little bit different every game.
Yeah, it's something we spoke about when Hecky got the job. We'd not so much scored from as many set pieces. We were creating, first contact in the box, second contact in the box, and yeah, we work hard on it. And the analysis lads and the support staff with Hecky, with Jack and Macca, it's something we work hard on. And when it ends up in the back of the net, everybody takes credit for it. So it's just nice to be on the end of one. And as I said, 3 points is the most important thing tonight. And look forward to Saturday.
It's always good when a training ground move pays dividends in a match situation. So delight for Oliver Norwood, delight for Sheffield United, delight for the manager, Paul Heckingbottom.
Paul, a 1-0 victory tonight. Got the job done reasonably comfortably overall, is that fair to say?
Yeah, but whenever there's only one goal in it, it never feels comfortable at the back end of a game. But yeah, it did feel more routine than a 1-0, I'll be honest. And probably looking at they had a couple of headers from crosses in the box. They had the free kick, which got us anxious, which Eags blocked. Not many saves somewheres. And then from our point of view, I thought we played well, but again, we got in some real good areas and probably didn't have as many opportunities as we should have, even though I thought we were the more dangerous team. But whenever there's one goal in it, you're going to have to stand strong at some point, and I thought we certainly did that.
Really good goal as well, early doors. Ollie Norwood with his first for, what seems like an eternity, but it really set the tone, didn't it, for tonight?
Yeah, pleased with it. Obviously, it's a routine, set play routine, one we've done before, and we have had success, but to get a goal from it's great. And the pleasing thing is about that, we were really disappointed with the set plays at the weekend. Real lack of organisation and leadership in taking control. But tonight we had that on all of them. We changed, Ollie and Flecky changed a couple of routines based on QPR's setup, which is great. You have to adapt because teams watch us and they're going to try and stop us. There were conversations before, corners and set plays with Eags and those two. And so to score from one is the reward for that, diligence, if you like, that homework and putting the effort into understanding not only our set plays, but which ones are the best ones against how they set up.
And reward for Ollie Norwood too, because his performance levels this season have again been really consistent, and he's really at the heart of a lot of what you do, isn't he?
Yeah, because he's got good qualities. We try and use that. And I remember speaking to Ollie last season about what his qualities are. Every player's different, every player's but got different attributes, and Ollie's certainly got some exceptional ones, so he has to demonstrate that on the pitch. And he was good tonight, picked up a lot of second balls for us, restarted a lot of possessions for us, and then he's got the winning goal as well.
Paul Heckingbottom reflecting there on Tuesday night's win over Queen's Park Rangers. Before that, we heard from Oliver Norwood. Mark Duffy, we heard from Ollie there say, we don't frankly care much about performance. It's about getting the result now. And at this end of the season, we can debate it till we're blue in the face here in the studio, but it's about putting the W's together to get to the playoffs, isn't it?
That's it, yeah. You know, obviously everyone hopes that he can perform really well, but at the end of the day, it is about those 3 points. It's a crucial part of the season, and although you want to perform well, like I just touched on, it is about those points really.
It was a win as well that took the Blades back into the playoff spots. Let's have a look at the league table now ahead of this lunchtime kick-off. Sheffield United 6th. If they get a win, then for a few hours at least, it'll ensure that we move into 3rd place. Of course, Bournemouth, Kevin Gage, have got aspirations of automatic promotion themselves.
Yeah, of course, and rightly so, because they're a top quality side, aren't they? There's a little bit of a gap, but I mean, it's really getting tight now, isn't it? We've been saying for weeks and weeks that the home games are going to be absolutely crucial. Ever since we had all the postponements, you know, over Christmas and New Year, and we had this backlog of home fixtures. So we've all been looking forward to the home fixtures, and we've done remarkably well at home. It's kept us in it really, because our away form hasn't been brilliant. Results haven't been fantastic. So, you know, this is kind of the first or the second stage of this little 3-game trilogy we've got now before we get another away game. So we've just got to keep this home form going, keep this momentum going at home, you know, because we are a very, very good side when we're at it at Bramall Lane.
I've been at press conferences with different clubs throughout this week, and no matter where you're at, the same thing comes back at you. We don't look at the league table. We're not interested in that. It's just about taking care of our own business. Is that just a line for us in the media, Mark, or is that actually what happens?
No, yeah, that's just a line that everybody spins off. You know, I'm sure the lads are finished today, and they'll be looking at the results this afternoon, because you know, it matters. It does matter, and you know, the pressure builds and stuff, and you're looking at who you can catch and who's behind you. And Bournemouth to be looking at their fixtures and the games that they've got in hand, thinking, well, if they lose today, it only goes to 3 points. Although they have the games in hand, they've still got to play those games and win. So the 6-point gap, if it comes down to 3, it comes at a nervous time.
Well, with that in mind then, just how big a win was it for the Blades on Tuesday night, given the deflating atmosphere that was around everyone associated with this club following the defeat at Stoke last weekend, which meant, of course, that Sheffield United dropped outside of the top 6. Just to see the name back in there, at this point, it matters, doesn't it?
Of course it does, and it's a huge win. And not only that, it's obviously they played really well. The energy they showed, the intensity, the pressing, everything that we want to see from a Sheffield United team. And I think going into this game, it sets it up really nice, because you know, it's 2 contrasting styles, and Bournemouth are a possession-based team. We want to play around the back, and you know, we could really play into our hands the way we want to press, but only if we play the way we played the other night.
Yeah, that's very true. And also, what I think it's important that we did play well the other night. Because yes, at this stage of the season, results are vital, aren't they? 3 points is fantastic. But after the non-performance against Stoke, we really needed to come down here and set our stall out and put on a performance like that with desire and energy and commitment and a lot of quality at times. And I think if we'd struggled over the line and just about scraped past QPR, I think we'd all have the bit of the jitters, you know, especially facing Bournemouth this afternoon. But that performance was really, really good. Without being a vintage Sheffield United performance where we're peppering their goal and should have scored, you know, 6 goals or something, you know, it was a good, solid, strong performance. So I think that augurs well for today and for next Friday as well. Well,
I think we can see our recent form now, and without doubt, Sheffield United are stronger at home right now, chaps, aren't they? And with having more games at home than on the road, I think there's only 2 games left on the travels this season. This place is going to play a pivotal role, is it not, in what determines where Sheffield United finish in the league table?
Yeah, no, you wouldn't swap our fixtures for anyone's in this division at this stage of the season. To have 4 games at home and 2 away, and the 2 away games aren't that difficult. They're going to be tricky, of course they are, but they're not. You know, we're not going to Middlesbrough or Forest or anyone like that. So yeah, the home games are going to be absolutely crucial, as I say, and I wouldn't swap our run in. I think we've got. I'm not going to call it an easy run in, but it's advantageous.
Well, if we look at the final 6 games, starting with today's there, Mark, one thing we should point out: Queen's Park Rangers away has now been moved to April the 29th, Friday night game. Just Bristol City and QPR away, like Kevin Gage says, you'd take that.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, they're all winnable games. Obviously, you've got Fulham in there who are a top team, but again, you know, they're all winnable games. But the main thing I would say is we need to play the way we play and play with real energy, aggression, and especially at home where we get the crowd involved and we get them up. It's just a huge advantage.
Let's take a look at Bournemouth's form coming into this game, because they did have a wobble, but over the last 5 games, Scott Parker and his team seems to have steadied the ship.
Well, that was a surprise, the result the other night against West Brom, because West Brom were in free fall, aren't they? So, but I've read a few reports, I've looked at the stats and that. I mean, Albion scored a couple of early goals, and then it was basically all Bournemouth bombardment. You know, they had lots and lots of, I think they had 18 shots, but didn't hit one of them on the target. You know, which is unusual because they're, you know, they're quality forwards, quality side going forward. So I think there'll be that hasn't helped us, to be honest. Them having that, you know, that result against West Brom, they'll be coming here wanting to put something right and get some points on the board and go back south with something. So that makes it a little bit more difficult, to be honest.
Well, on that note, what do we expect? Is this a good thing or a bad thing, Mark? Because we've been talking for a few weeks now. You look at the run-in, some games that looks difficult on paper might not, because teams don't have anything to play for. That's not the case with this Bournemouth team coming here. You know, they're currently second. They look to be clear, but if, and it's a big if, admittedly, Nottingham Forest were to win their 2 games in hand, then they've still got to play Bournemouth on the penultimate weekend of the season.
That's it. You know, at this stage of the season, you know, there's no game what's easy anyway. You know, sometimes when teams have got nothing to play for, all the tricks and flicks start coming off and they can relax. But these games are crucial games, and Bournemouth will know that. Obviously, they got beat midweek, so you'd say they're a little bit of a wounded animal. They could be, you know, a real risk coming here. But I think as well, what you've got to put into it as well, they played the day later. That could play a big factor. You know, they've only made 1 change. So it's the majority of the same players. Are they a little bit leggy? That's why I think if we start well, really get after them, they could start thinking, oh, I feel tired from midweek, and psychologically it could be a big factor.
Yeah, that's a very good point, isn't it? We know from experience, you know, that extra day is absolutely crucial at this stage of the season. You got a little knock or a little niggle as well, and it's away at West Brom, so I don't know whether they've stayed up or they've gone back down, but the travelling gets to you as well. You know, so you've got a day's travelling there for Bournemouth. It's a long way to come.
Especially if we start really well, sometimes the game, and you start thinking to yourself consciously, oh, my legs feel a little bit heavy, and that can just be psychologically, and that's just how we start. If we start the way we've done on Tuesday night, I think that will play a big factor in the game. Well,
we'll look at a little bit more closely at some of the key players for Bournemouth in a few moments. Down the years, though, these 2 teams haven't met too many times, and Sheffield United have only ever lost once here at home to Bournemouth. We hope that run continues today. Let's have a look back in the archives to a game not too far away. It was February 2020 when Sheffield United hosted Bournemouth.
Gosling tumbling over inside the penalty area. Basham. Gosling tumbling over inside the penalty area. Basham clearing his lines, and Berger doing likewise, but straight to Sermon. Now Fraser. Harry Wilson's effort blocked. Callum Wilson's wasn't. Bournemouth rewarded for an excellent start to the game, and in their battle against relegation, that is another significant moment.
Fully justified, fully deserved by Bournemouth. They have started again, the brighter.
Opportunity for O'Connell to deliver. Ricochet back off Billing after the clearance from Francis, and Norwood's deflected effort spins narrowly wide. As soon as the ball hit Ake, Bournemouth were just praying that it wasn't going to creep the wrong side of the post. Ball swept in. McBurney, great save. Really good stop. Ramsdale thwarting his boyhood heroes. Bournemouth having to withstand some serious pressure here as half-time approaches. Berger goes a touch that keeps it alive. Ramsdale can't get it away. Rifle back in from Stevens and put in by Billy Sharp. The blade Sharp in front of goal again. He's only ever scored 1 Premier League goal before today. That came against Bournemouth, and he scored against them again to tie it up at 1-1. Well, Eggs and Bournemouth's first corner of the second half, in from Fraser. McBurney with the defensive header, a real asset, defending set pieces as well as attacking them. Ake! Not too far away.
Great first touch. It's a tough one to try and bend that back round into the top corner.
Is Billing working it wide of Stevens for the run of Adam Smith, and now the Cherries will get the bodies forward as quickly as they can. Clipped in by Wilson for his namesake, and Fraser, what a save from Henderson. Back from Smith. O'Connell heads it wide. As a shot stopper, he's almost without parallel in this country.
It's quite simply superb. He is absolutely hammered at the Sheffield United goalkeeper.
Musa. It's John Lundstrom, and it is brilliantly worked. A touch with his right, a finish with his left. Sheffield United.
John Lundstrom with the winner 6 minutes from time a couple of years ago. Now, after Billy Sharp had equalised, 3 points on the day for the Blades, and we'd certainly take more of the same here this afternoon. A reminder then of the team news if you're just joining us. We'll start first of all with the visitors. Bournemouth, currently second in the Championship table and chasing an automatic promotion spot. They arguably, Mark Duffy, one of the strongest squads, if not the strongest squad in the Championship this season.
Yeah, obviously you look at the starting 11 and the bench as well. It's littered with real quality, and you know they've brought Dembele in today. I've played against him, and he's a fantastic player. And then obviously you've got Solanke, you know, second leading goal scorer in the Championship. So there's quality throughout, and you know obviously they'll have highlighted that, and we'll have to deal with them all. Let's talk a little bit about those attacking threats for Bournemouth. Dominic Solanke, their leading scorer with 24 goals. Admittedly, those graphics are fairly small, so I will try and talk through them. But the one thing that stands out, as good as Dominic Solanke is and has posted in front of goal, there's no one else there that's reached double figures. Is that potentially an issue? I think so, yeah, just because it's so heavily reliant on one player. And you know, Eags and that will know that if they can keep him quiet, it neutralises you know a vast majority of their team. So they will have an eye on him today and trying to keep him really quiet. You know, it's down to the other players to step up, really. Yeah, Kevin, I ask if that's an issue, but let's be honest, it's all relative, isn't it? When you look through the team, Todd Cantwell came in on loan in the January deadline day, and he can't even make the starting 11.
Yeah, I mean, they're second in the league. They've scored enough goals. They've got a goal difference of plus 20 odd or whatever it is, you know. So clearly it doesn't make that much of a difference. I like Billing as well. He always causes problems, Philip Billing. I mean, he's got 8 goals in 30 odd games.
Well, he scored against us, didn't he?
So from midfield, you know, that's good going. And he's awkward, he's tall and he's rangy and he gets about the pitch, you know. So, yeah, they're a good side, good attacking side all round.
Interestingly, the narrative seems to have been that Scott Parker hasn't got the best out of this Bournemouth team this season. Why is that? Is it the style of play? Is it something that's been lacking? Have they not been direct enough? I don't know, to be honest. It's tough because obviously because they've got so much quality, you'd expect them to just steamroll the way through. But the Championship's a very, very tough league, and with the Saturday, Tuesday games, it's not easy for anybody. So, yeah, possibly people look at the squad and think they should be better, but you know, they're second in the league, they've got games in hand, so I think he's doing a very good job, to be honest. Let's be honest, we'd take second right now, but Kevin, you know, they have stumbled on occasion. They dropped points against Preston, dropped points against Peterborough, lost at West Brom in midweek. You would like them to have an off day today, wouldn't you?
I'd love them to have an off day today, yeah, let it happen. But it's the competitive league, it's the competitive nature of the Championship, isn't it? Yeah. You've got some surprise teams who expected Luton to be up there, Huddersfield, you know, there's 2 teams up there that you wouldn't think would be up there. So you understand why they dropped the odd few points here and there, but I'm sure Scott Parker's brief would have been to get them promotion this season, you know, first or second. They don't really care, do we? Or even through the playoffs, you know, and they're second, a couple of games in hand, you know, they're looking good. You know, I'd rather be in their position than ours, to be fair. So,
Yeah, absolutely. Let's take a look at your Blades team that's lining up today then. We mentioned it earlier. Unchanged. That hasn't happened many times, if at all, this season. We've named the same starting 11 back-to-back. A vote of confidence for the players that performed so well on Tuesday night.
Yeah, absolutely. We just mentioned it earlier. You know, the spine of the team is really good. Defensively, we looked so strong the other night, you know. It wasn't a vintage game full of chances here, there and everywhere from Sheffield United, but we never looked like letting QPR in at any stage. They had one or two speculative efforts from outside the box. But the three centre-halves, and then Robinson when he came on, you know, 4 centre-halves always headed everything, cleared everything, was solid at the back. The wing-backs got forward, did their defensive duty as well. Wes wasn't really troubled at any stage. So it was just a proper, solid, strong Sheffield United defensive performance.
Philippi Ramovich made his debut, first start, left after about an hour. Thankfully it was only cramp. He returns today. How impressed were we with him on Tuesday night?
Well, he was great. I mean, he slotted in as if he'd been here years. You know, it's fantastic. But he's an experienced Croatian international defender. He was always going to play okay. I don't think there was any worries that he was going to be out of his depth or anything like that. So it was good to see him slot in great into that back three unit.
So you were impressed with him. You were impressed with him, Mark. Everybody here was. So we thought it'd be a good time to catch up with him for an SUTV Live exclusive. Speaking to us ahead of this game, here's Philippi Ramovich.
Yeah, everything okay. Just cramps. I'm 1 month without games, so yeah, I need to get in shape as soon as possible, and yeah, I hope I could and I will help the team.
You watched a couple of games in the Championship, and then on Tuesday night you had the experience of playing in one, so how did you find it?
Yeah, really nice. Atmosphere was really great. Supporter, fans, everybody on the stadium really helped us. And at the end we win, make a big step for the future. And yeah, we have 6 games left, game by game. I think we can achieve our goal.
And you must have been pleased with your contribution coming into English football for the first time?
Oh, I don't like to speak about myself, but yeah, solid performance. Of course, it could be always better, but I hope it will be in the next games.
How did you find the style of English football compared to what you've been used to before?
A little bit different. Of course, here is everything in much more pace, and everything is happening much more rapidly, but yeah, it's something what you need to get used, and I think it will be everything good.
And it was a crucial win against a playoff rival as well, another big game again on Saturday. So how do you see the running at this present moment in time?
Yeah, a really big and important win, but next game even more important against really good team, tough opponent, one of the best teams in the league, and yeah, we need to be really good on 100%, and I hope we can win and make even bigger stepper for the future.
The games are coming thick and fast, as they always do in April in English football. How are you finding that?
Actually, I'm really new in all that. We didn't have that kind of schedule in my ex-team, but I think with good regeneration, with good recovery, we can easily match with everything.
And just finally, how well are you settling into Sheffield?
I must say everything is really good. People from the club really helped me about apartments and everything, so I'm really happy to be here at the moment, and yeah, Sheffield, nice city, nice people, so everything good for now.
Philippi Ramovich speaking to us exclusively on SUTV Live. Kevin Gage, you've already spoken to us about how impressed you were with him on Tuesday night. Obviously, due to circumstances beyond everyone's control, he became available. Have Sheffield United stumbled into a really quality player at the right time of the season?
Well, potentially, yeah. There's rumours that we were looking at him anyway, wasn't it? So we decided to jump in and make the move when it was possible. But yeah, he just looks a good, as I say, solid player. He's not a tall 6'4" centre half. He's not a battering ram. He's only 6 foot, but he seems to win headers. There's a great picture going around on social media where he's out jumped someone. He's got his hand and his arms around someone's face. So he's a proper Croatian hitman in that sense, isn't he? But yeah, and he's also played right back as well, which tells you that he's comfortable on the ball. He can get forward and he can pass the ball around. So you know, in the system we play, because the outside centre halves do have to get involved in the play and get forward at times. He could be, you know, a potential, you know, good player for us next season.
What impressed you most about his performance on Tuesday night, Mark?
He was really calm on the ball, and his use of the ball was really good. But his 1v1 defending against Ilias Chair really impressed me, because you know he's a tricky customer, and there was a few times where he was left isolated in our system with, you know, the wide centre half, you have to be comfortable going outside and defending 1v1 situations, and that was really impressive what he done, because as I said earlier, he's a fantastic player in this division.
Well, he's back in the heart of that defence again this afternoon. Of course, the busy Easter period is fast approaching as well. We can look ahead to the next couple of games here on SUTV Live. Starting on Good Friday, 3 p.m. kickoff will be on air from 2 p.m. for the visit of Reading, and then Bank Holiday Monday, just 72 hours later, a later kickoff for the Blades as they travel to Bristol City to 5:30 p.m. kickoff will be on air from 4:30 for that one. Kevin Gage, we're going to say goodbye to you shortly so you can take your position in the commentary booth, but before we let you go, how do you see this one going to say? Are you confident, or are there some nerves jangling?
I'll be honest, there's a few nerves jangling, so I think it's going to be a really tough test for us. And it's not make or break this game, so I'll be happy with 3 points. I'll be delighted with 3 points, but I'll be happy to get something out of this game.
Do you feel confident, though, given what we've spoken about for Bournemouth?
I'm always confident. You know, I'm always confident if we put on a performance. You know, we can take anybody apart in this league. Maybe the West Brom result will play on Bournemouth's mind a bit. Let's hope so. But yeah, as I say, it's not a must-win game. But I think for our momentum and the way and our unbeaten record and going into the last 5 games it will be then, I think it's important we get something out of the game today.
All right, Kevin, thanks for now. Let's hear from the camp ahead of this game against Bournemouth. We caught up a little bit earlier with Enda Stevens.
Yeah, we obviously have the experience. We have the experience of what it takes to get out of this league and what's to come ahead, and hopefully that will stick to us. Like, you know, we hopefully we get a few bodies back. And we just get that kind of core squad of experience back together for when, obviously, every game is pressure, but there's going to be some big games, especially at Bramall Lane, and that's where hopefully it will stand us in good stead.
How determined are you personally to try and help the club get back to the Premier League and maybe a little unfinished business of how the second season went? Yeah,
it's huge. As I said, look, the opportunities in your career, these might not come around often, so when they do come around, you've got to take them. It's huge. It lifts the whole place, and especially with the manner in which obviously COVID, no fans, and we had a good first season, but the second season just didn't really feel real, did it? So we kind of want another crack at that, and just to get the big occasions back at Bramall Lane.
And Bournemouth, a little kind of glimpse of that really as a former Premier League team as well this weekend. Just how much will it say about your team's promotion credentials if you can beat them this Saturday? Yeah,
it's more just focusing on ourselves. You know, obviously they've got a huge squad of talent, and they're up there because of merit, because of how good they've been over a season, and it's just up to us to put in a performance. Hopefully, that I think if we are at it, we can beat anybody in the league, obviously, on our day, and it's just about being at it and getting that consistency, and hopefully we can do that Saturday.
Enda Stevens there. We've got just over 6 minutes to kick off here at Bramall Lane. Bournemouth, the visitors, the Blades chasing 3 more points. Let's catch the thoughts from the manager, Paul Heckingbottom.
Yeah, they've put themselves in that position where it's theirs to lose, haven't they? And they had a poor result midweek from their point of view. And they'll be thinking this is a tough place to come, which it is. So we know they're going to be fired up. We know they're going to want to get back in winning ways. But we also want the points for our own reasons as well. So I think it's going to be a really good game.
There's been some impressive striking performances this season in the league. Alexander Mitrovic clearly away, but Dominic Solanke's got 24 in 38. How much is stopping him going to be a key part this weekend?
Yeah, he is the main man. Coming through youth levels, England, Chelsea and Liverpool paid money. If I'm honest, I was surprised it didn't work out for him there. But I'm not surprised now with how he's doing. So yeah, he's a real big part of what they do. But the moment you start focusing on him, I've got players all over with the recruitments they made in January as well. They've got a good squad and they've got some real attacking options, which I'm sure we'll see on Saturday, whether that's the boys that he starts with or who Scott brings off the bench. So yeah, we know it's going to be a tough game, but I say to our players all the time, if we approach games the right way, I'm not bothered who's in front of us. We'll give anybody a game.
A reminder that for all the broadcasting regulations surrounding today's game, go to our website at sufc.co.uk. Mark Duffy, Paul Heckingbottom, like us, they're talking about the numerous attacking options that Bournemouth have, but he'll also be aware that in the last 11 games here at Bramall Lane, we've kept 9 clean sheets. What's going to give in this one?
Yeah, look, obviously he'll be aware that it's a very, very tough place to come, and they've got to be at it. If they perform like they performed on Wednesday night, they'll probably get beat. So they need to lift their levels, and we need to play it the way we played the other night. So
is that the key for us, to start fast, like we did against Queen's Park Rangers on Tuesday night, make them feel uncomfortable?
Definitely. Obviously they played a day later than us. The recovery period comes into play. And we've got to start really well and be on the front foot, be aggressive, press like we did the other night, and really put it to them. And you know, if they play round you, well, that shows their quality. But you've got to ask those questions of them.
I know some people don't really like early lunchtime kickoffs, but I know off camera you were saying to me that as a player you loved them. Is there potentially an opportunity here to exploit a weakness in Bournemouth, given the travel they've had?
Yeah,
as well?
I think so. You know, you've got to play the hand you've been given, really, and you know, they played a day later than us. We'll have had a little bit more time to recover. It's an early kick-off as well, it's not a 3 kick-off. So we've got to get this crowd up, we've got to get after them early on, press, be aggressive, and make it uncomfortable for them. And this is everything what this ground's been built on, and the success that over the years has been built on, you know, pressing teams, being aggressive, and just getting after them. And I think if we do that today, we'll have a good performance.
Prediction time then. How do you see it going, and psychologically what would it do for everybody at this club if we could get 3 points today?
It'd be massive, you know, obviously leading us into the last couple of games, it would give us all a massive boost. I'm going for 2-1 Blades.
2-1 Blades, we'd take that with 3 points. Without further ado then, let's hand you over to the match commentary team. In a moment you'll hear from Kevin Gage, but first of all, Matt Young.
Thanks, Richard. An early afternoon kick-off at Bramall Lane on Grand National Day as United look to get their noses in front of the rest of the runners and riders vying for a playoff place. The Blades now 3 points today. Well, it'll move them third for a few hours at least, but statistically, second place Bournemouth will be the Blades' toughest test on home soil today this season. Paul Heckingbottom will be looking to build on the win over Queen's Park Rangers, and we'll know today will close the gap on the Cherries. But with the tightest of promotion races potentially going to the wire, we could well be set for a photo finish. Kevin Gage joins me in the commentary booth, and Kevin, playing at this time, an opportunity maybe to put the pressure on the rest of the playoff contenders, maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always nice to play, get the result, and then sit back and watch the other results come in. Just from a player's point of view, I actually used to enjoy playing in the mornings or these lunchtime kickoffs. I think you don't have to hang about all day, you know, waiting for the game, getting